Defiance and Ayersville Campus Life. Claire here for our second official Campus Life Club YouTube wrap up. We're going to be doing things like this as long as we need to, where we'll have a wrap up posted on YouTube, and then after that we'll come together on Zoom to have discussion and for games. And so before we get started with the wrap up, I have a couple announcements. The first one is join us on Thursday, 7 to 8 p.m. on Zoom for a combined Campus Life Club for Defiance and Ayersville. So if you're currently in 5th through 8th grade, you are invited to this and you should totally come. What I will do is Thursday morning, I'll post the Zoom link on the Campus Life Instagram page, and I can also send it out to anyone who doesn't have Instagram. And all you'll have to do is, if you're using a phone, download the Zoom app. It's pretty simple, it's free, it's easy to use. And then just click on the link. If you're on a computer, you should just be able to click on the link and get to it. So that's at 7 p.m. And yeah, join us for games, for more discussion. We had a lot of fun last week, and I want to give a shout out to Jaden from Ayersville for winning the Campus Life home scavenger hunt. And good job finding all those items, or almost all those items on the list. So it was fun. Everyone got to run around their house. It was a great time, because when you're stuck at home, why not run around the house, right? So I think that's all I've got for announcements. Last thing actually, if you are selling candy bars currently for camp, I will be contacting your parent or guardian to discuss that further and all of that stuff. So just be prepared to hear from me on that if you're currently selling candy. And that is pretty much it. So I want to explain what we're going to be doing for club wrap up for the next however long we're doing this whole social distancing thing. So during club this year, we've talked about a lot of different topics, and we've talked about some of the hard stuff, like friendships and relationships and how those can be difficult sometimes. We've talked about things like bullying or anxiety or depression. We've talked about some of the brokenness that we might face, in the world or just in our own lives. And I think this outbreak of COVID-19 and everything that's going on in our world right now is pretty similar to that. It's something that's hard, and we've talked about how do we have hope and how do we have peace, and even though things are hard, how can we be okay in that. And what we're gonna do for the next 4 or 5 or however many weeks is we're gonna look into God's truth, his word written down in the Bible, and find out a few different things about God in the midst of everything going on. Because it can be really easy to ask, where is God? Does God see? Does he care? Does God really love me with all of this stuff going on? And so we're going to talk about how we see that God is here, God is good, God is truth, and God is love. So we're going to spend a week talking about each of those things. So next week we'll talk about how God is here, he's present, he's with us. We'll talk about how he's good the week after that, and then we'll talk about how he's truth, and we'll talk about his love and how he is love and what that means for us. So before I end this week's wrap up, I want to share something with you guys, and that is part of Psalm 23 from the Bible. And it talks about how God is good. God, does love us in the midst of trouble and chaos, and how he provides what we need. And so this is the end of Psalm 23, and it says, "Surely your God's goodness and unfailing love will pursue me all the days of my life, and I will live in the house of the Lord forever." So we see here that God's good, and his love, he not only loves, but his love is unfailing. and that he is, he's a constant. Like when it says your unfailing love will pursue me, pursue is another word for like follow, or even you could say chase, all the days of my life. So God is faithful. He keeps his promises forever. And then, yeah, like we have hope because of that and because of him. And so we're going to talk about what does it look like to understand and know God, especially in the midst of really tough times. And we're going to talk about what is the truth and where is God? Does God sees all of this and God cares about all of this? We're going to discuss that further, and we're going to hopefully have a lot of fun while doing that, with just different games and different activities that we'll be able to do. So join us for Zoom this week. Reminder, it's Thursday from 7 to 8 p.m. And if you need a link to that, if you don't have Instagram or you're not on Facebook, just have a parent text me or message me, or you can message me. Just let me know. And I hope to see as many of you as possible on Zoom.